Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, one thing that I'll leave you with is one thing that I think I remember more than anything in my entire military career was the first week of basic training. And they taught us the phrase, always forward. No matter what happens, you always have to go forward. It doesn't do us any good to stay in one place and dwell on anything or think about what's going on. Like, you can still think about things and improve and get better by going forward. Staying in one spot isn't healthy. There is absolutely nothing that we can do about what's happening. The only thing we can focus on is going forward and doing it the right way. And that's something you got to remember when you go through life as well. Sometimes in life there's just certain things that you can't do. There's nothing you can do about it. But you got to think about that next one. That's why we try to say, get the next one instead of my bad. Everybody knows it's your bad. We all saw it. Just get that next one. All right, so that's just one thing that stuck with me, and I thought it was right for this time of year and what we're doing right now. Always forward. We can't go back to the McDaniel game. We wish we could. We're not going to be able to go back to the first save or the ground ball that we missed against Alfred on Saturday. We can't. We got to go forward. All right, so just be focused on what's ahead of you, because guys, it doesn't change the fact that we've got one heck of an opportunity. We got one heck of an opportunity. And no matter what life throws at you or what the game goes, just keep going forward, keep driving, have trust and faith in the guy next to you. Because I'm telling you, they're here still because they got that trust and faith in you. All right? It's going to take everybody. The numbers are a little bit lower now, that's all. It's still going to take everybody. You guys got it? Yeah. Let's go. Here we go.
Oh, yeah!
We got Bears on you. ONU!
Bears!
So I grew up in a small town in upstate New York called Carthage, New York. It's right near a military base, Fort Drum. The 10th Mountain Division was there. It was a single mom of three of us, and then my stepdad came into the picture. He was a military guy as well. Did a great job kind of completing our family, if you will, and took an interest in the military just growing up around it. As a young kid, you're watching Blackhawks and Apaches fly through the neighborhood. You're on a military base and you see tank tracks, like all this stuff that gets a kid going. So there's always that kind of interest. And then, growing up in a small town, you just grew up in your standard little neighborhood where everybody was always outside playing hoops, playing different sports. And then, as I got older, I wanted to get out of the area a little bit and branch out. So when I was away at school, just needed to get away. Accepted a scholarship to go down to play down at a Division II school in North Carolina for a while before transferring home. And I think that was, when I look back through life, I think that growing up was awesome near the military base, but I would be less than honest, or I wouldn't be telling the truth if I didn't think that was a big role of me joining the military, just seeing what those soldiers do and kind of growing up and seeing what people around us were doing.
Atta boy. There you go, Thomas. There you go, Thomas. That's it.
So right when I was a senior in high school or sophomore or junior in that age, I'm getting old, so it's all blurring together, but my brother decided to join the military, and for me to join the military, it was, I'll never forget, I was sitting in my dorm room, 9/11 happened, a friend called and said, hey, turned on the news, and just kind of was like, wow. I knew at some point I was joining the military. I wanted to finish school before I did it. But that hit home with me, and knowing that, my brother was going to be going over there, being from New York, having a lot of friends, families who were in that area were impacted by it, I just felt like I needed to do something. And as soon as the spring semester was over that year, I enlisted, went to basic training, came home, finished up college, and just kind of started the next and biggest, most important chapter of my life at that point.
The more you get to catch that and actually see it, you know what I mean? Like, if you bust your butt to get out here, when you catch that over, you can take a breath and see everything.
I started out in an infantry company at basic training, and then when I was done with school, I went back to school, and I was going to go active duty route after I was done with school. But I changed that over to go to the reserve side after doing a little time up at Fort Drum, New York, first station. And then from there I was in a drill sergeant unit, which was great. I think you learn discipline there. You learn paying attention to detail when you're surrounded by the drill sergeants and what they have to do every single day and the training that you go through. And I think it was that training and being in that environment that really allowed me to become, I think, a better coach. When it comes to pointing out the little things. I think if you talk to the guys on our team, we preach that all the time, probably too much. but I know my staff understands what we're trying to do, and I think that experience with 8 years in the drill sergeant unit really allowed me to focus in on making sure we take care of these little details so they don't become big details.
That's a change of possession. That's a change of possession right there in a one-goal game. Got to do the little things.
1, 2. Yeah, you know, one of the big things, and it's something I learned at VMI, and it's something that, you know, he's very big with, is the time management. You know, staying on course with practices. You know, we get our practice plan, it has detailed minute of what we're doing at every single minute. You know, when it comes to meetings, you know, everybody has to be very self-aware of, you know, timing on that. So the rigidity with the time management is a big one. You know, just making sure that everybody's the same. We're one unit, one team here. You know, everybody looks the same out on the field. The only way you can tell someone apart is the numbers on the back of their jersey. But, you know, just making sure that we're a unit and we're not individuals is really big. And then, you know, again, the intensity that he brings with it, you know, making sure that everybody knows what's going on. We know how it needs to be done. He wants it done how we want it done as a staff as a whole are some of the big things that, you know, the military has brought for him, and what I learned at my time there too, which I think definitely helps out as well.
No! Roll the ball! He's open! Get up! Wide open! We're going to do it our way, not yours.
I think it's a very high energy, very tough love, but the key word there is love. I love my guys. I get on them, you know, I have them leave practice at times, you know, and just tell them to go. And, you know, when we're demanding, you know, when you're out on the field, we expect your attention, we expect your best effort, and it's hard for some of these student athletes to do that, as you know, being a student athlete yourself. But I always tell them I'm the wrong person I'm not going to feel sorry for any young man or woman that I ever coach that gets to play a game, gets to play a sport. And you know, our junior class, I told them a couple years ago, we were having a terrible fall freshman. They were all freshmen, and it was a fall practice. And I just brought him in, and I had just spoken with my brother who had just gotten home from his 5th deployment, and I said, you know, you guys are expecting me to feel sorry for you because you're at a great university like Ohio Northern University and you're playing a sport that you love. You know, there's an 18-year-old overseas fighting, you know, against Iraqi soldiers or somebody. I go, don't expect me to feel sorry for you. You know, there's people fighting cancer every single day, giving it everything they got. You're out here playing a game and getting a heck of an education. You know, I'm not going to feel sorry for you. And I think they're starting to realize that, and I think that's really helped our program grow. Like, they understand that I care about them 100%, and I'll listen to them. But the likelihood for me to truly feel sorry for them because they got a lot of homework, or, you know, it's getting close to exams and they didn't do their job at the beginning of the semester and they're scrambling right now. They'll tell you it's tough for me to feel sorry for them for that.
Black, you're up. Top of the box and back.
Yeah, I mean, when I came here, like, I missed my first year, so like a lot of that was like growing off the field with Coach St. Like, he really like pushes you to like be great. Like, he expects greatness. Like, he's been saying that like even the recruiting process, like he can't, like, you don't come here to be average. Like, you come here to be great. Like, he reinforced that with like every single thing he does, every single thing he says. Like, he wants us to be great, like on and off the field. Like, even more than like the 4 years we're here, like, or the 40 years after we're here too. Like, he wants us to be great. Like. And everything we do is just like the little things that we do day in and day out, like who we say hi to in the hallway, like how, like going to class, like doing our studies, like all that stuff. It's like he expects us to be great, like both on and off the field, and like he reinforces that every single day.
Now what do you do? He did it this way, right? He had the ball right there. Where do you got to go? Go to the ball.
I think the military background really kind of solidified that I wanted to get into coaching. I think some of the decisions that I made as a young person growing up, I want to try to make sure other kids don't make those decisions or guide them through it. I had to kind of work through it myself, so I just felt like it was an area for me to give back, and that's really important for me. You know, serve my country and then give back and help young men, you know, become better than I was. And I think I've been able to do that. It's a blowout. Oh, it's a blowout. No, play it right. Oh. Uh-oh, it's getting close now.
It's definitely different. So he's daddy here. He's dad, he's the husband, and then when he's on the field, he's the intense coach. He's all about his players, all about protecting his players, making sure they do their best. And here, it's all about his family and making sure his family does do their best. Come on, Jay.
Uh-oh. There it is. Ball game. Oh. Yeah, it's actually good.
So it's definitely a big difference between coaching and home, but he does a really nice job of keeping coaching at the university and keeping home at home, which is really nice.
Do you have homework? All right, so this is the crew. This is Jalen. How old are you?
Hi.
How old are you?
8.
You're 8? What grade are you
I'm
in?
8, 9.
You're 9. Just turned 9 last month.
And I'm in 3rd.
3rd grade. This is the second oldest, Janessa. What grade are you in?
Kindergarten.
How old are you?
This many.
Well, how many is that? 6. And this is the man of the house, Jamarcus. Where do you go to preschool at?
No way.
No grade, but where is it? Over at Daddy's
Stadium.
Well, we go by the stadium. So he goes to the CDC on campus, and he's 4. And then this is my wife, Kristen. I'm not going to say how old she is because I want to have a good night. And we've been married since 2007, and we've been dating for just a long time. So college sweethearts. So yeah, my wife, she sought me out for the record. Just kidding. Yeah, we were at college, and we were in my room, and actually my roommate who just passed away, he was a cop in Canandaigua this summer, was killed. But we were in our dorm room, and she walked in on Halloween night, and they were getting ready to go to a social event, and I was actually going home to see my girlfriend at the time, and it was one of those moments where you're like, hey, this girl's pretty cool, and she started hanging out with the group of people that we hang out with, and I got to know her, and the rest was history. I got real lucky. Batted out of my league, and she's been great. She's been a rock ever since then. I tell everybody this day, we initially didn't take the Ohio Northern job. I just wasn't interested in it, and after coming up here, and wanted her to be happy because we had our dream home in Virginia, and all of our children were born there, and she was the one that told me to take the job. So she's so supportive of our team. She loves our young men. She loves the parents. She loves everything about it, and I couldn't ask for a better person when it comes to her.
It's right, Jamarcus.
Did you read this with Mom already? Huh? Yeah. All right, sit up there.
We did math homework, that was it.
You had math homework too? Holy hard knock life.
What he preaches as far as family first, he truly means it from the bottom of his heart. He takes us into consideration every time he makes a decision, and he also takes his entire team as a priority. He makes sure that they are taken care of like his family. And so, like I said, when he preaches family first, he truly means it.
Where are all the bats? You're reading about bats? That's kind of freaky. No? Are they cool? Are you talking about them at school? I haven't seen. Yeah, I saw a bat. Remember that one out in the front yard? So you're not reading with me? Where are you going? You're going to practice it and then we'll read it?
I don't know if he would want me to share this, but I'm going to anyway. He turned me down 4 times. I'm not taking no for an answer because we wanted him from the beginning. Like his lacrosse pedigree, we wanted somebody that the lacrosse world would look at that say, how'd we get that, coach? We thought that he would fit in with our current staff because we've got a good staff here, very established. And when we look at any coach coming into our department, a lot of it comes down to what kind of person are we plugging into the mix, because they wouldn't interview here if they weren't a good coach. But you can be a good coach and not be a good person. And we want people who are going to be a part of the bigger family and not just be out on an island by themselves. It's the teamwork thing. So we thought that he certainly fit that mix.
Yeah, it's something that comes up all the time, ironically enough, in the recruiting conversations. You know, the previous university we were at was a phenomenal university. We were ranked at one point top 5 in the country and playing in the NCAA tournament. And we had our dream home on a mountain. All of our children were born there. You know, recruiting was a little bit easier, convenient, you know, in terms of being on the East Coast and getting to Baltimore and Philly and all that was a you know, you could do it in a day trip if you needed to. And the weather was obviously, you know, much different here than here. But what it came down to was once I had my wife's support to come to Ohio Northern, I truly felt that the university, I mean, it's a sleeping giant. And you can walk up and down this hallway every day, and there's coaches that are far better than me, that have done far more than I've ever been able to do, and do it with great kids. I was really attracted to the alums when I was talking about looking at this job. I started talking to some alums. Nathan Shearer, he's the head wrestling coach at the university that I was previously at. He's an alum from here, so is his wife. And they were just talking to me about the school. Hey, you got to look at it, you got to look at it. And the first person I met was Coach Bieshler, who, you know, it's tough to find a bigger ambassador for Ohio Northern University than him. And it really got the wheels turning, and I did the research. There's great majors here. The placement rate was phenomenal. The facilities are great. And the thing that stuck home with me were the type of people that go here. Like, I love the Ohio Northern student, like the young men, the young women that go to school here. They're polite, they're good kids, and then the coaches are here for a long time. You know, if you would have told me 14 years ago when I got into coaching that, you know, Ada, Ohio was going to be a destination job, I wouldn't have known how to pronounce it. But as I look closer at it and I seen the phenomenal coaches that they have here and the programs that are built, it was just something I wanted to be part of.